I'll tell my doctor, nope, don't care what you think. I'm I'm look at the numbers. I'm living my life. I'm happy. I'm healthy.
Michael, how did you find Carnivore?
Carnivore. Well, it's kind of one of those things. It's the last thing you're looking to find, but it's the best thing you've ever found in your life. It changed my life. For many years, in the past I had issues with as a child with anxiety, depression, and that went on through probably about my 40s, let's say. And um, and I was on SSRIs and couldn't get, I tried all of them. I was having issues. The doctor was just giving me new pills. And then I found a book, and basically it talked me into to do mainly keto. So I cut out, it's maybe like an elimination diet. So I tried that. And lo and behold, you know, my depression went away, my anxiety went away. Um, and I was just thrilled. Obviously, when same thing with that Carnivore does now to with people is you wish you'd found it a lot earlier. So I did that, and I was happy. But then, the carbs come back in. You're young. You think you can still go out and eat the pizza and drink the beer, and so you digress back into that. And let me think. So then after that, of course, I gained weight. I didn't get the depression back, thankfully, because the best thing, if you're in a good state of mind, you can do anything, and that's mainly what I wanted, mainly to go away. So discovered beer again, gained some weight. Then you get to a certain point where you're either like I got to a certain level where the pants wouldn't fit one time, or I got the roll in the back of the neck, which like, that fat, that's the last place the fat needs to go, or wants to go. So no, I'm not having the roll in the back of the neck. So it got me to try something different. Then I tried fasting. I tried snake diet. And actually that worked really well for me, because basically I ate every third day. It's really extreme, but when you ate the third day, it would be mainly meat. It would be a huge steak and maybe some asparagus. So I did that for a while, and I got to my high school weight doing that, and it was manageable for a while. But then you get feeling good. You feel like a teenager again. Then you start eating the carbs again. Pizza's the worst, by the way, pizza. So sure enough, I started gaining the weight back, and then I don't know. It might have been those the algorithms with the fasting videos, and I was watching low carb down under, and I love all the science, technical stuff, and I was watching that, and then of course then you get all the doctors, and since I was pretty much already doing carnivore, kind of when I was doing the fasting, it was easy to just eat the meat, and so I've been carnivore for a year now. I started before Thanksgiving last year, which was an odd time to start, but I figured people are going to have turkey there anyway. That's meat, and just avoid the sweets. And once I avoid the sweets for a couple of weeks, it's you don't crave them anymore, and then it just becomes smooth sailing. So like I said, I've been carnivore for a year now, and man, I remember that high everyone gets when you first start. Boy, that was an amazing feeling, and it's I'll get that high now every so often, but it's I don't have it that much of a high on that, but I feel still never felt better in my life. And like I said, I'm about to turn 59, and I tell people I feel 35. And all my friends and relatives that are about my age, I keep hearing they're talking about how they have this pain and that pain, and so I try telling them sometimes. I kind of shut up a little bit nowadays, but I just kind of listen and shake my head, and they see what I'm doing, and they know what I'm doing, but it doesn't quite. But they still want to do their carbs.
1 year in, what is the main thing that's kept you going for this 1 year? Is it that carnivore high feeling, or is there's something else that
Well,
has made you stick with
no,
it?
it's just so it's satisfying and it's so sustainable. Every other diet in the past that I've been on, you go on it and you're always craving something, you're obsessed about something, and you're just constantly fighting it. With carnivore, like I said, yeah, and as we all know, the only thing you're hungry for is meat, and that's the only thing you're craving. So as long as you can find some meat of any kind. I mean, it could be, some people don't want to do eggs, or some people don't want to do different things. But for me, luckily I can eat everything, and it makes life a little easier traveling around. But it satisfies me. And then the weird thing is, some days I'll eat a lot. Some days I'll eat a little, and none of that really affects me on like as far as weight is concerned. But it's just, if I'm hungry, I'll eat a lot. If I'm not hungry, I won't eat as much. And it's just kind of how my body feels. And it's really rewarding to be able to listen to your body, and it'll speak to you, and it'll tell you what it needs, and it'll tell you when you mess up. But like I say, I wish, we all wish we discovered this as teenagers, but we're teenagers are smarter than the rest of us. So, so
Right.
yeah, they know it all. And, yeah.
Yeah. So look, on the point of the eating, so you're pretty much eating intuitively. So like if you wake up and you're hungry in the morning, you'll have something to eat. If you're not hungry, you won't eat until like lunchtime or dinner time or something like that.
Yeah, I go through like weeks at a time where I'll eat eggs or bacon, like let's say 4 days in a row or something, and then the next day, and the next week I won't eat breakfast at all. I'll eat maybe once, twice a day. I'll have a steak or a hamburger meat, or my one treat is I still do chicken wings. I'll air fry them, or if I go out, and I'm trying to avoid seed oils as well, but you can only do so much with when you go out, and but of course I do the dry rubs, which probably has some sugar in it, but that's, you got to do what you got to do. You got to, if it helps with the socializing, and then actually I like them a lot. So it hasn't really affected my mood or my energy, I don't think. So I'll stick with that. But like I said, I used to have cravings I used to work at a Baskin Robbins years ago, and I thought I'd never not like ice cream, but now you can put ice cream in front of me. No, don't need it.
It's pretty good when you get to the point where you can sit with something like ice cream or cake or something in front of you and just look at it and be like, there's no emotional connection there anymore at all, right?
No. The only time I will say this, I love my relatives, but and you know how it is. You're in their clutches, and then when you go visit them, and they want to be hosts. Oh, try some of this, try some of that. Eat this because it's either going with you or it's going to be thrown away. So every so often I'll have a little bit of something. But if I'm 90%, the way I say it, if I'm 95% carnivore, and these cheats that that I would have maybe once every 2 months, just a bite here, bite there. It's kind of like, it's kind of like back in the day when in the 60s, when you got a meal, it was a piece of meat with the sides. Well, it's going back to that age where the sides didn't take over for the actual meat that was the meal.
Yeah. And I'm not sure I'd describe them as cheats if you're really just eating something to kind of just picking at something to keep people happy. That's not really a cheat. It's almost like you're under duress.
Well, it's also that, and it's also I'm still experimenting. I love that I, I'll probably never get a tattoo, but because I could never think of anything to put on my body that I'd keep on there forever. But all of a sudden I got N = 1 would be really nice to put somewhere. Experiment of 1. And that way, you try it, you see how it works. And you learn little nuanced things about yourselves. And you learn that, your body can change or accept something or not accept something as readily the next time. And I find that fascinating. But for the most part, I try and keep it clean. Um, I still go out drinking beer with my friends and I say that I go drinking beer with my friends twice a week. It's a high school club meets their brew pub, and they drink their beer, and I'll drink my um, club soda or seltzer water or just regular water. Every so often, it's not about drinking the beer. But I get curious about what does that beer taste like. So I'll have a 1 ounce pour, and then I'll have it. And I go, okay, that's good. I'm done. And my friends who drink beer, they're like, I don't see how you can do that. How you can just drink 1 ounce and be done with it. I was like, I'm just very thankful I can do it. But I know there's people that can't. But I can do that. But even then, I only do that twice a month, maybe. So
it's pretty amazing to other people when they can see that you can do that with no emotional connection to the beer at all. But the reality is it's possible for everyone. They just need to they need to have broken that link at some
yes,
point, which when you're
yes.
on Carnivore, you can do more easily, right?
And it's a tough. It is. Obviously all of us in our situation here that are carnivores, we live through those cravings, and we understand totally that what a hold they have on you, and also that you know they're everywhere. You can't get away from them. You can't drive the street down the street without the fast food restaurants. You know, and I don't have any kids or anything, but just the snacks and all that stuff. And yeah, it just becomes part of your life. Sadly, it's kind of a drug and an addiction
Yeah.
sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So has anyone shown enough interest to actually say, okay, tell me what you do, let me try it?
Um, I've had a few people, relatives and friends, and they have said they've looked at me and said, "Man, you're looking good. You're looking thin." Or I even had a cousin say, I took a picture with some nieces and nephews. They're obviously in their 20s, and this older cousin said, "You look you look almost as young as they are." I go, "Well, thank you, but I think it's the lighting." I had to be honest with it, but that was nice to hear. So you hear the compliments, and people notice. But I've only had really kind of minuscule interests, like neighbors. Like my girlfriend's thinking about trying it. I say, okay, if you need any help, I'll help you. And then my cousin, the same thing. She's when we talked about the medical part of it, high blood pressure and cholesterol issues, that got her interested because she's on cholesterol medications, and so that got her interested. And at least I love talking to people about it because it's they can listen, but it's up to them to go out and kind of do what we did and learn from you and the doctors and the people on this carnivore space. Um, about the medical side of it or the science side of it, and they can agree or disagree, but it's good. I love the discourse that is part of carnivore. But yeah,
Yeah.
I wish more people would come, and because man, there's some seriously ill people like we were out there, and you want the best from them. You want them to live the best life they can, but
Hmm.
you have to get to that point at your own time, and you have to make that decision. It can't be forced on you. So
Yeah. So where do you live in the States?
I live in Euless, and I'm sorry, no one knows Euless. It's Dallas Fort Worth in Texas. Well, another interesting point. I'm a barbecue snob. I used to go touring for all the barbecue places, and since I started carnivore, yes, I still love barbecue, but since I cook at home and I don't eat as much, I don't crave going to all these barbecue places. But it is a good place to go when you want to go meet the carnivore friends and all. No matter if you're carnivore or not, totally, your friends still want to go hang out at the really good barbecue spots.
Right. So is there are a lot of barbecue places around where you are?
Oh, oh, there's great quality. Yes, yes.
So how is the relative to the rest of the country, how is the health around that area? Like, is there a lot of obesity, type 2 diabetes, that kind of thing?
Oh, it's, I don't ask my friends or the people I know, but yes, you can just look at them. I I do go to I still drink coffee, and I go to this one grocery store that has a Starbucks in it, and the people I see what I watch what people put in their carts, and I see their health, and there's people there that are 400, 500 pounds, working there, eating, buying their groceries, and yeah, I just want to scream it, but you can't say anything, because I just want people happy and healthy. It's like that's what we all want for anybody. But yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Mm. It's such a shame when you see people, like, putting the stuff in their carts like that, because you kind of feel like they think they're doing the right thing because they're putting a box in there that says low fat or no cholesterol or whatever. So they think, well, one of these days I'm going to be eating enough of this right stuff to, start getting healthy or whatever, And
It's,
it's so sad that we as a we as a population have been so influenced by the marketing messages.
well, it's normalized. So that's all they know. Like, um, what's amazing to me is in this. I was around when the food pyramid came around, and even as I think a 9 or 10 year old kid, I'm I'm kind of questioning. I'm going, what? They want carbs because I'm listening to my grandmother who's saying that she repeats it all the time. You can't eat carbs; it goes to your hips. Yeah, and this is like a 80 pound 5 foot woman, and then they all knew that, but all of a sudden it just changed, and so food became totally different from that point. Um, and all the kids nowadays, that's all they know is that what we call food, which is not food or nutrition.
And the consequence of that is that kids are getting the diseases of, like, older people now, like the middle-aged. It's pretty scary to see kids with fatty liver disease.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and the diseases have been normalized as well. It's that goes along with the diet, sadly. But I
Well,
wish it's kind of like I wish the diet could be like people realize the diet is like a reset, like on a computer. It's like if you're having all these issues, just press the reset button. The reset button is carnivore, or I'm going to include other things. Any other diet that kind of eliminates the processed stuff, you know, because then it gives your body time to heal from all the inflammation that's going on. And but they don't see that. It's about pills and or listening to some influencer about a certain diet, which I guess carnivore is too. But still, I wish we could reset ourselves and reset our minds to, I guess, living more ancestrally.
yeah, so from your perspective, this is the way you're gonna eat going forward? There's no going back?
Yeah, I'm not going back. Like I say, because I just don't crave any other foods. It's not only is it it's not only is it so satisfying when you're eating it, but it's so sustainable. And I, there's no other diet that I've stayed on this long and been so happy with. It's every other diet fails you, or like I say, the cravings catch up to you, or you give into temptation, or your friends are pulling you in. And this one, no, not doing it. And when I do go out, all my friends know I'm carnivore now, and I'm not ashamed or shy about it. I'll let them know. Um, I'll tell my doctor, nope, Don't care what you think. I'm I'm look at the numbers. I'm living my life. I'm happy. I'm healthy. Um, and I'm glad to have any conversation with you about it, but I'm not taking your drugs. My goal is to, get to 100 and not be on any medications.
Nice.
As every person our age that should be their goal,
Mm.
in my opinion.
So, are you still on meds? Like you're no longer on the SSRIs,
Oh,
right?
no,
But
those quit, but I threw those basically back at the doctor and said, no, I'm done with you. And that was um, probably 25 years ago. Um, I've had other issues since then. The one thing that didn't, and I'm thinking maybe I was detoxing from maybe certain things, but the one thing that was, I did have a really horrible case of dandruff for like 20 years. I went to every doctor. I went to my primary 3 times. He diagnosed it 3 different times. Then I went to the dermatologist, and he said, "Oh, oh yeah, that's dandruff. That's just dandruff." And gave me the shampoo and stuff, and I tried everything, and it was one of those things where it was scabbing all the time, and it was itching, and it was driving me nuts. And even after I went on carnivore, it slowly started going away, slowly, slowly. I mean, it took a long time, but I haven't had it for the last 2 months, and that's one of those things when you're on carnivore, you're like, when you finally realize, wait a minute, I'm not itching, I'm not scratching, I'm not bleeding. Oh, thank you. It's such a, it's such a relief. But that's probably the last thing I had that was anything kind of a medical issue that I had that caused me any kind of pain. So yeah, I'm happy to be free of all that. Oh, my gums got so much better. I used to have I used to do the pocket treatments on the gums, and my gums are fine, not bleeding. Vision's gotten better. Actually, I told the doctor, I when my eyes were going bad, that my eyes were twice as bad. She goes, "Yep, yep, they are." But since then, they've actually improved since I've been on the carnivore diet. Like I say, it's great to feel like you're so much younger than you actually are. Um, it's and like I say, I attribute that just to the mental health. If you have your mental health, you can do so much. So when people start this diet, I think the mental health aspect of it, getting rid of the brain fog, just being energetic, happy, that will keep them in the diet, and then hopefully everything should, down the line improve as far as the little issues they have. Well, not saying little, big issues that come with what all the foods we've been eating all these years.
nice. So when you've been at the doctor, like, have they done some blood work and have they said, "Oh, I know you're feeling good, but your cholesterol"?
Oh, yes. In fact, that's the first time I saw my doctor, a couple of years ago. They wanted to put me, I'm 1 point over on my cholesterol. And like, oh, when do you get you on cholesterol medication? I go, no, I don't think so. Well, it would really benefit you. It would really help me out if you went and got a coronary calcium score. I go, okay, what is that? And I paid for it. It came back as 0. And so now, oh, okay. Well, then now all of a sudden, we don't, you're good for 10 years. I'm like, but you were going to put me on a drug for the rest of my life because of that. So so yeah, so I'm about 5 years in on that. And so my doctor retired, but the new doctor says, oh yeah, you're good for another 5 years before we do another coronary calcium score. But that being said, I did discuss cholesterol with my doctor and my new doctor, and I discussed how cholesterol is good, and she listened. And then what's funny at the end of it, when I was leaving, I apologized to her. I said, "I'm sorry if I was going on and on about this," and she said, "No, actually, I wish we had more patients like you that that actually knew what they were talking about, and would take grasp of their health. Because like I say, I can talk. I just like the fact I can have a doctor that I can talk to, and they can disagree or agree or disagree with me, but at least there's a discourse. And like I say, they can fire me at any time, but I can fire them at any time. It's for whatever reason. So, but that being said, I got the blood work back, and the blood work was good, except of course the cholesterol was high, and of course on there said, well, you may want to cut back on fatty meat. But that's just, they just put that on the form. They're always going to just put that on the form.
Right. Yeah. So if one of your friends came to you and said, okay, Michael, I'm going to give this a try, what should I do? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to, well, I went cold turkey, and because I do everything cold turkey, I just start it and go. I'd probably just, let them probably clean out their house, of all the stuff. Be slower about it. But you really have to learn. Some people don't even know what carbs are. They think certain things aren't carbs when they are. So, but I would just say, just eat eggs, eat bacon, eat meat, and eat it until you're stuffed. Because if you're stuffed, then you're not going to want to eat that dessert, or you're not going to be tempted to eat that snack, or you don't and after a couple of weeks of being stuffed, the cravings will be gone. And that's what I would tell them. It's simple, but I get it. It's so hard to wrap your mind around. And like I say, those cravings and the temptations are just killer.
Yeah. Nice. So Michael, is there a way people can reach out to you? Do you have any social media or any way of getting in contact?
Sure. You have my email, and just put it on there, and be sure and put, if you do email me, but Carnivore on it, because that way it helps with the organization of spam, not spam.
Sure, no worries. So yeah, I'll link to that in the show notes. Michael, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Not a problem. Like I say, I just want everybody to live the best life they can, and I think having channels like this and the support of these channels is very incredibly valuable.